Hi, everybody. This is Dan Sheridan, and we're going to take a quick look at the week that is finishing up here as we head into Memorial Day weekend. I'm speaking as of Friday, May 24th. It's about 1:15 Eastern, 12:15 Central, so a little bit left today. I'm going to talk about this week a little bit, and then what I'm looking at for next week in the market. All right. Well, this week, when you look at an SPX chart and you think, okay, what did we do this week, right, from Friday till today? Well, you say, really, nothing. I mean, we closed at 53.03 on Friday the 17th. So we closed at 53.03. A week later at 53.08. Great week for range-bound traders. But you forget something. You can see here on May 23rd, yesterday, a Thursday, a big candle, one of the biggest range days of the year. We had a low of 52.56, high of 53.41, and that's why you get this big red candle there. So you had almost a 85-point range. What happened? And it was basically, let's talk about the whole week as a range-bound trader, but what are things we were looking at? During the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, great days for, really great days for zero-day trades, because the market Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday had no range. And so I'm going to show you the trade we were putting on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday at about in the morning, holding it for about an hour and a half, and it worked like clockwork. Thursday, we stayed out of it because we knew there was a big potential obstacle for range-bound traders. You say, what was it? Well, you had NVIDIA coming out with earnings after the close on Wednesday. Why is that a big deal? Well, the last time NVIDIA came out, SPX went up 100 points. And so you have to give that a little respect. In reality, what happened is NVIDIA went up its 10%, but SPX ended up down. And I think part of it, if you just say to me, what do you think is the thing? I don't think there's anything dramatic about what happened. I think the market going into yesterday, SPX was up over the last month or so, a little more, 300 points. Well, that's a lot, right? In the last 3 weeks or so. So we were up a lot. Now, so let's take a look at some of the things from last week. Then I'll give you 3 things I'm looking at for next week. But as I said, these zero-day things, here's an example of one. But again, we're at 117 in the day. So let's look at 3 things. I'm going to give 3 strategies. First of all, next week, is it a big news week? Not really. I mean, the biggest thing I see next week, Friday, is, which would be Friday the 31st, right? Is, let's see here, the PC, what's it called? The core PCE, that's on Friday morning before the market opens. You have some Fed speakers sprinkled in. You have jobless claims Thursday morning. I would say nothing huge on next week. Earnings are kind of dying down. So not a big news week, but I would say it's still, if you look at the SPX, right now we're 30 points off the high of all time. And so, especially in reaction to me, with the NVIDIA news, NVIDIA up 10%, and the market's like, we're not doing this again. We're not doing what we did last time. And the volatilities have come down. We're right now, as we speak, 11.97. So as I'm going into next week, here's 3 trades that I'm looking at starting on Tuesday, 3 trades. Number one, the 0 day. Again, I'm looking at, as I come into that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of the things I'm looking at is that there's not a big range. Just to give you an example where I'm coming from, if you look at last week, let's see, last week or this week, 3, 2, 2, 120. The 20th was Monday, right? So let's look at this real quick. What was the range Monday, the 20th, from high to low in SPX? 23 points. That's nothing. So that's a 0 day paradise. 521, the low 52.97, the high 53.24, 27 points. Let me say it again in Spanish and Somalian. 0 day paradise. Let's go to the 22nd, which is Wednesday of this week. The low 52.86, the high 53.23, a little more, 37 points. But still, when you start getting under 40 points, that's pretty good. Obviously, we stayed out. We knew this event was coming Thursday, stayed out of the 0 day stuff on there. And you had an 85-point range, which we don't like for any type of trade. So 3 trades for next week. We'll still continue looking at that 0 day, many different ways to skin the cat in the 0 day. And that's, these are more speculative, but they can work when there's a small range and no news. And you come in, if we were to do it now as about 121 Central on today, Friday, May 24th at 53.07. Let's say we set it up at 53.10, the short, sell 2 for a 0 day. Buy the 52.95, it's 15 points more in the money. Buy the 53.25, 15 points out of the money. Now it's trading 790. We're late in the day. Generally we're looking at these, closer to $4 to $5 in the morning. But that's 0 day. We'll be looking at that again. I said 3 trades. Excuse me. I'm giving you a bonus 4th trade today. I just thought of one more. That's number 1. Uno, the 0 day. Now let's move further down the scale. I'm going to give you a double calendar, right? When the VIX is really low, like 12 VIX, I like these double calendars a lot. So I'm going to sell. I'll probably look at this Tuesday. These are the expiration. I will sell the June 7, buy the June 11, and I'd go about, let's see, I'm up here at 53.50. I'd go up about 45 points. On the upside, on the upside, 53.50. And on the downside, 52.70. And we're currently at 53.05. So I would set this up. I might tweak it just a little bit here, but I go up 40, down 40 from where I am at on Tuesday, or excuse me, yeah, because Monday is a holiday, right? So let me just see that. So Tuesday is going to be the 28th, right? May 28th. All right. So that's what I'm looking at. And this would be a double calendar. Again, when VIX is 12 or 13, I like these a lot. There's 4 days between the long and the short, buying June 11, selling June 7. So I get plenty of width, nice theta. I think a real good trade we're looking at. Another trade I'm looking at next week, and when we're over this 5,300 level, as Adam, one of veterans in our community, we've talked about the skip strike call butterfly, right? When we're at all-time highs, something with no risk on the downside, and you're only much less short deltas or risk than a credit spread. So with us at about 53.57 right now, here would be an example of it. It's always nice to have a trade with no risk in one direction. So I'm buying with us at 53.04. I'm selling out of the money 54.20, about 120 points out of the money. I'm buying 154.10 call, 10 points more in the money from my short call. And then on the upside, I'm going to skip the 54.30 and buy the 54.40s. So you're doing a skip strike butterfly. It's a little less delta short, a little more closer to what I like, neutral range bound type trade. So, and that will be less problematic than a credit spread on the upside. And when you look at it, it's also less margin. So you can see here, my risk on this one contract is about $860. I'm bringing in a credit of $140. That's a very good return. So we talked about a 0-day double calendar skip strike. And as long as we're like 11s, lower 12s, I also like for next week, VIX vertical spreads. So, I might go out to, I want to give myself some duration because, anytime you do a vertical debit spread, you need some room because you could be wrong. So here, I'm going out to the next cycle that would involve the next big earnings cycle in July. So 53 days out and something like this, buy the vertical, something even like buy the 12s, sell the 15s. You can go wider if you'd like, be like $1.24. If you want to go a little bit wider, by the 12.16, and you can see it's a long delta. You make money as the VIX goes up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at next week for a relatively slow news week. But the markets, it's been more problematic, the market, for especially us range-bound traders. But I'm looking at 0-day trade next week, looking at double calendar, skip strike, butterfly, and a VIX call spread, some of the opportunities for next week. Check us out at Sheridan Risk Management. And I'm Dan Sheridan. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And if you have any questions or anything, you can email me, Dan at SheridanRiskManagement.com. And we'll talk to you later. Thank you.